In Germany, all children have to attend school. It's the law. And while most Germans are perfectly happy with it, not everybody is pleased. And from time to time, there's a little scandal. One such scandal was the family who wanted to homeschool their children, but weren't allowed to. They were fined and the authorities threatened to take their children into care. So the family went to the US and applied for asylum. They claimed religious persecution since, as evangelical Christians, they didn't want their children being taught about things like evolution. The courts, though, disagreed. The law they were in violation of wasn't targeted at any specific group. It was the same for everyone, regardless of religion or race or anything else. So their application for asylum failed, but they weren't deported. As far as I know, they're still living in the US, still hoping that the courts will one day decide in their favour. So, is Germany taking away the rights of parents to bring their children up exactly as they please? Or is there something even more sinister than that? Is it some kind of state-imposed mind control? Some people would certainly argue that. Others, though, would argue differently. There is actually nothing stopping parents from teaching their children whatever they want to teach them, as long as it's not something seriously bad like how to be a Nazi. But the parents have to do it in their own time. The children still have to go to school. Most Germans would even argue that children have a right to attend school. A very common point is this: children have the right to be able to mix with other children of their age and from as many different backgrounds as possible. School, they say, is about more than just the lessons. And, they say, far from being a way to tell children exactly what to think, school is a place where they are taught critical thinking skills. Parents who want to homeschool their children may claim to be protecting them from indoctrination, but in fact, it's those parents doing the indoctrination. The history of compulsory schooling in Germany is a very complicated one that goes back as far as the 16th century. By the 19th century, the idea of compulsory schooling for everyone was there, but there weren't enough schools. Not until 1919 was there a law for the whole of Germany. These days, each state has its own laws. Generally speaking, children must attend school from the age of 5 or 6 for a minimum period of about 9 or 10 years. If you worry that compulsory schooling allows the state to indoctrinate children, you may actually have a point. After all, the Nazis were very big on compulsory schooling, and we all know how good they were at indoctrination. I once met an elderly gentleman who was a schoolboy in those days. Every week, he and his classmates would go to church and attend what was called Bible study. At these sessions, the priest would ask them what they'd learned in school that day and then proceed to tell them exactly why everything they'd been taught was wrong. This gentleman explained it to me like this. He said it was an inoculation against Nazi propaganda. So that leaves us where exactly? A government-approved education may well amount to political or religious indoctrination, but then again, so might homeschooling. It all depends on the government or the parents, respectively. What you might find difficult is justifying the claim that being forced to send your children to school amounts to persecution and justifies claiming asylum. Nobody's being tortured or killed, and you really can't claim asylum purely on the grounds that you disagree with your country's laws. Which reminds me, it's time to get the kids off to school. Oh wait, I've just remembered, I don't have kids. What a relief. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to send me a postcard, here's the address. And don't forget to visit my website and follow me on Twitter and Facebook. Also, if you'd like access to special bonus content and help with the costs of running this channel, please consider making a small monthly donation on Patreon.